My daughter, affectionately known as Baby Plants on this channel, is officially a year old. And we have been doing solids for a while since she was around 6 months, but I am leaning now more into the baby-led weaning style, giving her different foods to try and letting her feed herself more. So this video is going to be a peek into what I'm eating in a day, trying to get my health back on track after surgery, and also what my baby girl is eating now that she is 1 year old. I haven't yet quite gotten into the habit of feeding her the exact same things that we're eating every day, but that is definitely what I am trying to do because it makes it so much easier. So if you've been through this phase before, I'm definitely going to be asking for your help. And if you are going through this phase right now like me, hopefully this video will at least give you some ideas for healthy vegan meals that your 1 year old can eat. So we do usually start our mornings out pretty slow. I'm actually still breastfeeding. So in the morning, baby girl still has breast milk, and that usually keeps her pretty full until an hour later is when we usually have breakfast. And so breakfast is probably the one meal that she will tolerate what we are eating because we pretty much always eat oatmeal, and she is still okay with oats. I do put extra fruit in hers to make it a little bit more delicious. And it also just makes it super easy to get out 3 bowls in the morning and load everybody up with a little bit of oatmeal. And then she likes to help do everything. So usually she will help me make coffee or tea, and then we heat everybody's breakfast up and all eat together. And then if she's still hungry after her oatmeal, I'll do a little bit of extra cut fruit. Right now we have some little tangerines, so I'm just gonna cut those up for her and she can practice feeding herself. And then after breakfast, we usually just do a little playtime together. She is really into books lately, so she will sit with me and have me read books to her, or I just let her sit on the floor and read them herself. She loves doing that too. And then we don't really do any morning snack because usually she will just breastfeed on demand if she is hungry after breakfast. But I do make water available to her and just offer it. And me as well. I've actually been really bad about my water intake lately. I'm trying to get back into the habit of just having a jar or a large glass of water nearby me at all times so that I remember to stay hydrated. So make sure you're staying hydrated as well. Okay, baby girl is down for her nap. So let's talk a little bit about this whole baby-led weaning thing. Like, no one prepares you for how weird it feels to just hand your baby a chunk of food and just hope for the best. So of course, when Baby Plants first started eating solids, we were doing like purees with her, and I was doing everything homemade, trying to avoid all processed foods, and then of course avoid sugar and salt, which I still am trying to do. I definitely don't want to all of a sudden, now that she's 1 year old, just start feeding her everything processed or super sweet or super salty things. So those things are constantly on my mind at every meal time, and I want it to be easy and healthy, but of course I also need her to like them and actually eat the food. So that's one aspect of it, and like I said, that's kind of what is holding me back from just feeding her the exact same meals that Q and I are eating. But I think the other thing is the fact that she only has like 4 teeth, and I know that they say babies' gums are really strong and they can chew, but it just really throws me off to just hand her a chunk of something and expect her just to chew it like we do. So I did find the Solid Starts app is really helpful for finding out how to cut and serve foods to your baby. So I've been using that a lot as a resource. But if you have any tips, if you've either been here before and have recipe or food ideas for this stage, let me know. Or maybe if you're going through this right now yourself and have found anything else that is helpful, please hit me with it in the comments. I need all the help I can get. So after she wakes up from her nap, we are gonna do a lunchtime. For lunch, we have been doing tofu scramble with a little piece of toast or pancake on the side, and then some kind of fruit. Today we have pears. And for myself and Q, we're gonna have salad because it's super easy to throw together and healthy. So let's go ahead and get lunch started together. This recipe is actually inspired by one that I made a couple years ago on this channel. I will link it in the description box if you want to check out the full recipe. It is so easy and really good for springtime. I mix it up sometimes with whatever veggies I have on hand. Like, so today I'm adding in some raw broccoli, and I think the original recipe calls for green peas, which does make it a lot more beautiful and vibrant looking, but I had some cooked lentils already, so that's what I'm gonna use. And then also adding in some chopped green onion and fresh dill, which just give it a lot of extra flavor. And then I like to do some vegan feta cheese in mine. I just find it gives really nice bites of saltiness. And then I like to do walnuts for a little crunchy texture variation. And the salad dressing is super simple, just a really basic lemon vinaigrette, which you could also sub the oil for aquafaba if you prefer. So during her second nap of the day is usually when I like to get things ready for dinner. If we have something meal prepped already, then of course I'll just wait until dinner time to take it out and heat it up. But if I just have like veggies chopped and I need to like cook something, then I'll usually get that started so that we're not eating too late in the evening. And today I'm just gonna do a quick pasta sauce because I already have some veggies prepped, and it's really easy to just throw everything into a pan and then add some tomato sauce and some herbs, and you have a really healthy veggie packed dinner really quickly. Now I have given baby plants some pasta sauce once before and she was not a huge fan. Maybe it was a little bit like sour for her, but I have heard to try foods with your baby a few times, at least like I think it was 10 times before they decide they really don't like it, because just kind of they need that exposure to decide if they really like something or not. So I'm gonna try it again with her tonight, and I do have a backup dinner for her if she doesn't like it. But again, I'm trying to get into the whole mindset of let her eat what we're eating. So since we're having pasta for dinner, she will be trying some pasta as well. Okay, let's chop up the onion first, and then the rest of the veggies are already chopped, so we can just throw those in the pot. This pasta sauce is one of my go-to recipes because it is just so easy to use up any veggies that you have on hand. I always start with an onion and usually some garlic. If I had some, I would be throwing that in as well. And then our veggie mixture today is just some chopped broccoli and bell peppers, and then some seasonings. I usually do garlic powder, oregano, and dried basil. And add in your pasta sauce and some more of our cooked lentils, which have come in handy all week. And then pro tip for your pasta sauce, you can always add a little bit of soy milk or any plant milk of your choice for a little extra creaminess in your sauce. Fresh herbs are the best. Thankfully, I still have a few leaves of basil left in my little home garden here. But you know what? I actually really need to clean it out and plant some new ones. Since I was in the hospital and everything, it just kind of got a little wild looking over here. So I'm gonna do a clean out of this garden soon and plant up some strawberries and other kinds of basil for summer. I'm actually really excited about that. But since we have these little basil leaves still here, I'm just gonna add them to our pasta tonight. And since I do not think Baby Plants is gonna be a big fan of the pasta, just because she wasn't last time, I'm gonna do a couple other things on her plate for dinner just to give her some variety. I have some cooked quinoa that she is decent with. I don't think she loves the texture, to be honest, but I add some corn and butternut squash to it to make it a little tastier. But if you have any pro tips on texture things, let me know, because we used to always do purees for her and I feel like she got really used to that, and now things with texture she's just like very hit or miss on. Now I was a very picky child, so I get it. Like if she doesn't like something, I'm not gonna force her to eat it, but I do just want to introduce her to more things and kind of just try that repeated exposure thing to hopefully get her to expand her palate a bit. So even though that pasta dinner was not a huge hit with baby girl, at least it was with my husband, and we have leftovers of that sauce, so I don't have to worry about dinner for a couple days for me and Q. And I'll probably just do some more quinoa and maybe like some tofu bites or something else for baby girl for tomorrow. That's the other thing. I don't know, talk to me about variety. Like I feel like when you find a meal that your baby likes, you kind of just want to eat that for a few days and not have to worry about finding something new all the time. But I also don't want her to get tired of it. So I'm kind of unsure about how often to switch up the meals. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. I always appreciate your help so much. Like it's always nice to have someone who's been through it before. And thank you for spending the day with me. I just love hanging out with you.